This conference will now be recorded.
Is there a way like we can disconnect audio and only and join the session? Do you find any such kind of option?
This conference will now be recorded.
So today our interest is to see how to actually configure the real mobile device for our automation. So till now, we have seen automating a native app on emulator and also browser or web app on emulator. Today we're gonna see how to configure a real mobile device and how to actually automate different kinds of apps, whether it is native or whether it is
మీ తెలుగు రాసేసే హోంవర్క్.
on real mobile device. Uh, I request everyone else to be on mute. Uh, so the first important thing while you configure your real mobile device is you have to actually enable developer options, which opens the door to actually do something on your mobile device, or to actually perform something on your mobile device. So to do that, to keep it short, you have to go to your settings. Okay, so hope you're able to see my mobile screen, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So two important things that you have to be aware of when before configuring your mobile device. So you need to have an USB cable where you would be able to transfer the data. Okay, the USB cable should allow you to actually transfer data, or um, mm, like it should also be able to transfer data between your system and device. So most of that's one of the important things that you have to know. And second important thing is you have to do few setups on your real mobile device. For that you have to settings go to your settings, and in the settings you have to go to your uh, what I mean to say here is you have to go to your about phone, and here you have to go to your software information. Once you click on your software information, you will be able to see the bill number, right? So the moment you see this bill number, you have to tap on that bill number for 10 number of times. So once you tap on that bill number 10 times, then the developer options will get enabled for you. Okay, so once the developer options enabled for you, then you could actually have to enable the USB debugging on top of it. Just a second. So just have a look at this. So now I'm tapping on this a number of times. So it just asks us for this. As the developer options have got enabled for you, so you could actually go here. Earlier we don't see this developer options. Now we got this developer options enabled for us. So go to this developer options, and then here you would see something called as USB debugging. So you have to enable this to actually start automating or connecting your device to for the automation purpose. So once you enable this, you are good to start your automating. I mean, your device setup is good to actually do the rest of the stuff on your real mobile device. So this is the whole thing that you're gonna do on your real mobile device. To just revise it again, I'm just I don't want to display my bill numbers and all over here. So I just came back to the home screen, but I'll just revise it verbally so you could note it down, or when you revise that, it would be useful. So take your Android device, and the first important step is connect that with an USB cable, where you would be able to actually communicate the data from the device, I mean, to your from your laptop to your mobile device through that USB cable. So the second thing is open your settings, go to about phone, software information, and you will see bill number. Tap on that bill number for 10 times so that developer options will get enabled for you. So once the developer options gets enabled for you, there you will see something called as USB debugging. Okay, so you have to actually enable that USB debugging so that your device will be ready to actually start. Your device setup will be done for using it for automation purpose, or actually to run your test application on the real mobile devices. So that's the whole thing in terms of setup for real mobile devices. So once you connected your device with USB cable to your system, now let me start sharing my screen on my desktop. So you're able to see my screen now, right?
Yes, sir.
So now we will, when once you go to your command prompt, you will see something called as, when there is a command which we have discussed, which is ADB devices. So once we actually do this ADB devices, you will see demon running, not running, start. Okay, you will see the device ID which is actually connected. So there is only one device which is right now connected to my system, and that this is the device ID, universal ID, or unique ID, you could say, universal device ID, UDID. This ID will be used to actually identify my real Android mobile device. Are we clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir, I have a question. So, is it necessary, like it's a mandatory, we have to connect by USB the device, then we are able to test. We don't have any other method
Yeah, we
for
do
our
have.
testing.
We can even connect with Wi-Fi thing, but
Yeah, because my
mhm.
concern is because if just I wanted to check in a multiple device and my laptop don't have that much of port to attach with the USB, then it's a problem.
Okay, there is another way where I mean, not all mobile supports that, but there is a way
थोड़ा
to
सा
actually connect.
मोबाइल ना कनेक्ट करना
Uh, there is a way to actually connect through Wi-Fi as well to
Mhm.
the real mobile device. If you don't want to use this port, uh, there is a way. I'll just tell. But my mobile right now is not actually supporting Wi-Fi connection, but I'm not sure. I'll just tell you the manual steps, or
Yeah, that's fine. Just like my concern key, like we have a option. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, we do have an option for
Yeah.
connecting through Wi-Fi
Okay.
hotspot as well.
Sure.
I'll
Thank you.
try to figure out. I mean, it's all about settings. We just need to
Mhm.
enable few settings so that we should be able to connect to that.
Yeah,
I'll
and
try to figure it out, and will tell you that in the next session.
okay. And one more question is that the same process we follow in the for iPhone also?
No, the device to device it changes. Right now we are
Okay.
just talking about Android. So I'll definitely cover iOS in the coming sessions, coming to
Mhm.
simulator and real device as well.
Okay.
So this is all about Android.
I have a quick question. Like, is it possible to install the Visor app to connect the real device?
Wiser app.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is that for? I mean, I'm the first time I'm actually listening to that. I Wiser. Is this
Visor,
what?
V-Y-V-Y-S-O-R. Yes, Visor.
What is this for?
This app we have to install to connect the real device.
Okay, to share the screen is what you're saying.
No, to connect the real device, some people use the Visor app.
Voice apps helps establish frame connection wirelessly and enable to monitor the device activities. Okay, uh, I heard about this. This is to actually share the screen is what I believe. So
Okay.
this is just to actually connect to your device on here so that you could actually see this thing. So I used it some time back just for easier sharing so that you could actually, I mean, when you're running the scripts, I cannot share both the screens, right? So if I connect my device through Visor, you could actually see my device screen over here directly.
Just for the easy access, just to for.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, it just gives us a window so that you could actually see it see it over here. Let's give it a try. What happens? Let's see. Yeah, this is just like you could see the screen of your mobile device directly over here, so it doesn't actually need to share that screen again and again. Okay, all right. So now we got our mobile screen over here, and also our this one. So this ADB devices will give us the UDID of my real device, which is actually got connected to this connected over here. Okay, so now let's try to connect to this particular device from our inspector tool. So from when we are trying to connect to this particular device from my inspector, the only thing that's gonna change now is we actually don't want to uh, you know uh, install any app in my real device. Instead, we will try to connect to the existing app which is already there in my device. Okay, we already discussed about apk info, which gives us the package name and activity name of different apps that have got installed in my device. So let me just open apk info. So this APK info app gives us the package name and activity name. And also there is a command using dumsys which we could execute and get the app package name and activity name. But to me, I feel like this is something which is easy for me. So I'll always get the things from uh, APK info, but I'll also show you executing that command and getting the package name and activity name of any app in which the screen is active or something. Like if you open the app and put some screen onto the in that particular app, and when you execute that command, it automatically gives you the package name and activity name. But again, we are going to see that shortly, most probably in the today's session or tomorrow's session. But apk info we already discussed, and we know how to get the package name and activity name of a particular app. Let's suppose if I want to get the package name and activity name of an app called as calculator. So simply what I could do is just search for that app with that particular name and open that, so that you will see whatever that you see on the top, something over here. So if you could see, this is something like on below the calculator there is something, right, like com.scc.android.app pop-up calculator. So that will be the package name. So whatever app that you open, the one that you see under the name of that particular app is called as the package name. And activities, most probably you will get a main activity in all the apps. If you don't see main activity something, so go with something called as the first one, which is already there, which is always there, like pop-up calculator dot calculator. So each activity is actually tagged to different screens on that particular app. So for example, if you open your WhatsApp, it will have the chat windows, it will have status windows. So every screen will have its own activity. So that's what basically activity means. So package is something like wholly related to the to the app, and we will have only one package. This is nothing but the main package. Under the package we will have all the activities. Even if you go ahead and see the activities, look at them, it always starts with the package name, and something will get appended to the package name. That means like those are different screens or different screens of that particular app in that particular package. Yeah, that's all about package name and activity name. So when you don't use something called as app as an capability, you should be able to use app package and app activity together to actually use the existing app. That's what we already have discussed. Now today let's see, we are just using the existing apps, and we will try to connect or launch the app using the package name and activity name instead of using app as a capability. Okay, so now we are good with doing the setup on the real mobile device. So what we have done, to keep it short, go to your settings, go to about phone, and go to software information. And once you go to the software information, you will see something called as build number. Tap on that build number for 10 times. It changes from device to device. Maybe in some devices you just need to tap for 7 times, but keep on tapping on that build number, so that you will see at some point it says you like developer options is enabled for you. So then once you come back to the settings again, you would see a new kind of new tab app, new option appended at the bottom, which is developer options. Under the developer options, you will see something called as USB debugging, which you have to enable, um, so that your device will be good to actually start automating. So once that is done, you could come back to your command prompt and you could say ADB devices. Once you say ADB devices, you would see an ID, uh, and that ID is actually used to identify your device uniquely. So this is the parameter. So when you're connecting to the emulator, you are giving the device name, right? We have seen that as Apex classes or something like that we have created. So instead of the device name, now we're gonna pass UDID, which is the universal device ID of my real mobile device. So using these capabilities, now we are gonna connect to this device. So initially, what we are gonna see is, the first step would be we will try to connect to the real mobile device using emulator, inspector. So once that is successful, we will use those capabilities in our Java code, and we will run our Java code, so that we need to make sure like the script is running successfully. Then we're going to automate one native app like calculator or WhatsApp, and then we will actually try to automate a Chrome browser on the real mobile device. So that's a whole target for today. Let's move ahead and see how we could do that. Okay. So the first step, as I told you, we have to be successful in connecting to this particular real device from the inspector. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, so these are like set of new capabilities which I'm gonna actually create now. So I'll go to this documentation. So the first important thing when we are actually using the real mobile devices, we have to pass UDID, unique device identification, or universal device ID, whatever we call it as. So UDID is something uh, which we're gonna use now. So the UDID, I have to pass it over here, and the value of that you will get it by executing this command, which is adb devices. So when you execute this particular command, you would see an ID of your real mobile device. You have to copy this and paste it over here. Okay, so this gives the ID of your device, which the Appium server will use to connect actually. And the second thing is, and the rest all things I hope you are aware of. So the other one we have to pass is automation name, which tells what is the framework that your device uses, or that your device needs to communicate with. For all Android devices, we know it is UI Automator 2. So let's get that UI Automator 2 and paste it over here. I'm copying this and pasting it over here. Okay. And the third parameter is platform name. Okay. These are all what we have. Rest all will remain same. The only things that are going to change is a device name changes to UDID. Device name is something what we have used for emulator. Now instead of device name, we are using UDID. So we already used platform name and we already used automation name. Those are not new for you guys. And instead of app, we're gonna use app activity and app package name. Okay, from where I'm gonna get this app package and app activity? From the APK info, I'll get those details and I'll try to use them in this inspector. Okay, so now I'm gonna use platform name. So the platform name is gonna be Android, right? This is, again, you're aware of this. So copy that name and paste it over here. And now we get rid of that something called as app parameter, and instead of app, we're gonna use uh, app package and app activity. Okay. So app package is, let me go here. Let's get the app package. So app package is here. Copy this, go back here, paste it over here, and give the value as what you see over here in this particular APK info. So now I'd like to actually automate and this calculator only. So the package name, as I told you, this would be my package name, com dot com dot sec dot android dot app dot pop up calculator. So this is gonna be my package name, and the next thing that I have to give is app activity. Okay, go back here, copy this, and app activity. So as I told you, app activity always starts with the package name, and to the package name something will get appended based on the screen that you actually want to start. In my case, uh, I'm gonna go with calculator, which mainly tells like this is the main um, one. Most probably you will see something called as main activity. If in the other case, you would directly see the name of the app itself. So here you could pick it as calculator. So now I have set UDID, automation name, platform name, app package, and app activity. And one most important thing when you're actually working on real mobile devices is you always have to set no reset is equal to true to avoid any reset of your real apps on your real mobile device, or else you would see that the app completely gets reset to its initial states, which you don't want. So no reset is something which is very important to be given, so that you will not reset your app. Okay, so this is very important. So I'm setting this as boolean, and I'll keep this as true. I'll mark this as true. So this no reset is equal to true will not actually reset your app. If you don't set this to true, what it will do is like it will just bring your app state to your to its installation state. When you freshly install an app, how it looks, how it will be, so to the same state it actually goes back when you don't set this no reset is equal to true. Okay, so now when you click on start session, if all the capabilities are sufficient enough, you would actually see the app getting launched on this on your real mobile device. Okay, so the reason is we haven't started Appium yet, so let us start Appium so that actually see this. When you launch the Appium, so you have your setup ready, inspector is ready, Appium server is ready, and real mobile device is ready, and we have done all the setup that is required on the mobile device. And by executing that command called as adb devices, you could also see the app, I mean the UDID of your real mobile device. So the moment I click on the start session, you see something is actually happening on your real mobile device, so which is like, so now the calculator app got launched on your device. Okay, so now you could actually inspect the elements, and you could see the properties of them, and you could do whatever that is needed to do on this particular app. Okay, so that is all about connecting to the real mobile device from the inspector. So again, uh, to actually revise everything that what we have discussed, now we started using app package name and app activity name instead of app, so that we are not freshly installing any apk file onto your device, instead using the existing or already installed app on your device. And second important thing is, whenever you are using any real mobile device, real apps which are already in place and use and are being used, so you have to use no reset as true. If you don't use that, your app will actually will get reset, and so that you lost all the data that is been actually been incorporated on the device. And the third important parameter is, instead of device name, we are using UDID now, right? So we are using UDID instead of device name. For emulators, we have used device name, and for real devices, we are going to use UDID, which is the unique ID or universal device ID, whatever you call it as. And the rest all are same what we have seen, and the rest two parameters are automation name and platform name, to actually specify what kind of framework that we're going to use and what kind of device that we're actually automating on. Okay, so with this we could say like these capabilities are sufficient enough to connect to the real mobile device, right? So two steps are done. One is setting up your real mobile device for the automation. Second step is what capabilities that you have to choose to connect to the real mobile device. So I'll save these capabilities so that we could actually use them later. So I'll say real mobile device and click on save. Okay. Now we are good with you know uh, what I mean to say with the capabilities. Now let's go ahead and start using these capabilities from your Eclipse, and let's try connecting from the Eclipse to your real mobile device so that we could actually start automating some stuff on the real mobile device. Okay, so this is only thing that only new thing that you're gonna see. Rest all will be the same. The code, the way you code, the way you run your scripts, everything will be the same. What how you do on the emulator, the same way, the same thing you will do on the real devices as well. The only thing that's going to change is the capabilities that you're going to pass to connect to your real device. That you're going to witness in short amount of time.
When to give auto grant permission? Sorry to.
Sorry.
When to give auto grant permission? Auto permission.
Yeah, auto grant permissions we already have discussed, right? When you want to actually grant the permissions to the app without any interrupts, like I have shown you, right? We have to click on continue on the other app. So
Yeah. So,
so
like first we have to check, right, whether it is asking for permission, and then we have to give.
There is no harm even if you actually incorporate that in your capabilities, because if it doesn't want any permissions, it will not actually do any harm to you. But even if it is expecting some even if that is expecting some permissions, it automatically grants that, and it will not stop your script from executing. That's fine even if you add them in your capabilities.
Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, I tried adding the autogrant permission, but still it's asked for the continue button to click
Yeah,
manually.
that's what
So
I'm saying. Like, it depends on app to app as well. It Some apps may not be able to actually accept this auto grant permissions. So I hope it is been mentioned. It actually depends on the developer. If developer allows us to do that activity on it, it actually will perform that, or else there is no other option. You have to actually manually give those permissions, and then you have to go ahead and use that app. I
So
hope we already discussed this thing as well.
So
is it like
whatever,
one? Is it like we should give one permission once and then it won't ask again? Like is it the
So
is that
no,
the
when you install that app, uh, you have to grant the permissions. So once you grant the permissions, you should no more use that app parameter. So if you are using that app parameter again and again, what happens is it reinstalls that app. It's no more going to use the existing app, right? So instead of app, if you're going to use that app package and app activity, then what happens is it uses the existing app will already have the permissions on your mobile device. So then you're not going to see that continue button.
oh, so you should not use app. Instead, you should use that.
Yeah.
Uh,
When you use app, what happens is it reinstalls the app, right? So when you're reinstalling the app, it's a fresh app again. So then it asks for permissions back again.
so when to use app then? Like in the first time only, or no need of using directly we can use. App is for installing the apps, right? And
Right. Yes.
and like I'm not clear in this actually when to use app and when to use it like app activity.
So it is like uh, app is used when you're actually, basically when you will use app is when you're running on multiple devices with the latest versions or something. What happens is when you want to actually install, you cannot go ahead and install the app every time on different devices, right? So you could simply go ahead and use app when you're running on emulators, so that you would actually run on n number of emulators on n number of devices. Then in that case you could directly go ahead and use app, so that it always installs that app, and there is no harm actually installing the app every time. But this grant permissions is something, auto grant permissions should handle your app. But when you are using some old app on the new devices or the new softwares, then these kind of things will not work. But in the latest apps that you will be actually using, when you actually combine app with auto grant permissions, so you should be able to actually achieve opening the app without any errors. So what the app that we are currently using is like an very old app, which actually it's only showing us, right? It is not
Mm.
actually supported in the latest versions of Android. So this is not the real case. It is just for our practice we got that APK file. But in the real world, when you use app with auto grant permissions, it will not throw you any errors. Even if it is throwing any errors, you can get in touch with developers and get that particular part added in their manifest XML file, so that it actually behaves the way you are expecting it to do.
Oh,
Okay.
got it.
So
Thank you.
when you will use app is, let's say you have 100 devices, you cannot actually install app in all the devices. So it is always good idea to use app as an capability, so that it automatically installs that app on that particular device. Okay. So when you are actually working on real mobile devices, and in worst case you will work on 6 to 7 real mobile devices, so in that case it is fine to use app package and app activity on real mobile devices. So it's as the number of devices count is less, you could simply install that on those number of devices. Anyways, you would use switch case back again for real mobile devices and emulators. So that switch case, in the case of emulator, you could pass the capability as app. When it comes to real mobile device, you could use the app package and app activity name. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thanks. Thank you.
Sir, I missed the first 10 minutes because of my internet problem. Can you summarize what we covered today, please?
Yeah, sure. So what we have covered so far is we configured the real mobile device. So we actually want to automate a native app and also a web browser on the real mobile device. So we configured the mobile device by going to the settings, and then we have went to uh, about phone software information, and then we have to tap n number of times. It depends, n depends on different mobile devices. Once you tap on bill number n number of times, the developer options will get enabled for us. So once the developer options got enabled for us, you would see an option called as USB debugging. So once you turn on that option, your mobile device would be ready to actually support performing some actions on the device through a script. Okay, so the script here would be your Appium client library code. And then we came to this command prompt, and we executed a command called as adb devices. So once you execute this adb command, it gives you the list of all the devices that are being actually connected um, um, to your system. So I have only one device which is right now connected to my device, and this is the UDID. We call this as an UDID of the device. So once we got that UDID of the device, and your device setup is good to actually perform some automation on it, you are the next step. What we have done is we actually launched this inspector, and we tried connecting to the real mobile device. So these are all the capabilities that we have given to connect to the real mobile device, and we have been I mean we got success in connecting to the real mobile device. And the only change from the emulator to the real mobile device capabilities are, instead of device name, we are passing UDID as a parameter, and instead of app, I'm using app package and app activity, because I don't want to actually install some dummy APKs on my real device. So I'm using an existing app on my real mobile device. So to actually use the existing app, we already discussed, we have to pass app package name and app activity name. To get these two parameters, I am using apk info app to get the package name and activity name. And I was also mentioning, like, there is a command using dumsys to actually get the package name and activity name of the app which has been which is in focus at that point of time before executing that code. I told, like, I will also show that command in shortly, but right now I just want to show you with apk info. So I have shown how to get the package name and activity name from the apk info. And the other important parameter over here is no reset. No reset is something which is very important. We already discussed this. It allows, it restricts your app from resetting. So which is a loss for us. If I reset my complete WhatsApp app, yeah, I have to actually do that back again from starting. Like, I have to get the backup and all the things has to be done, which you don't want to do so on the real mobile device. So we have to set this parameter also to true. No reset is very setting no reset to true is very important when you're actually automating on real mobile devices. So this is pretty much about the recap. uh, and now we are actually trying to connect to the real mobile device from the Java code, through Java code or using client libraries. So now I'm creating a class, and here I'll mention it as real mobile native app automation. So I'm also creating a main class, and I'll click on finish. And here again, we have to add all the capabilities that are required to actually connect to the real devices. So to add a capabilities, we have to initiate a class called as desired capabilities. It also serves you as an a revision for all of you. So what we have done on emulator, the same thing we are going to do it on real mobile device, but in a fast phase. So everything is same, like you don't find anything new, not even like even 5% you won't see new things, but you will see everything that you already have done and emulated. But only few things with the capabilities are going to change, and we already covered that so far, like UDID, and those are been, I mean, those are the capabilities that we will use right now to connect from the script as well. Okay, so there is nothing new that you're going to see now, but something on the real mobile device. That's the only difference. So capabilities is equal to new desired capabilities. I created an instance for capabilities. Now capabilities dot set capability. And what is the capability name? The first capability name is so you have to use mobile capability name dot, let's go with platform name. So the platform name would be Android, right? So the platform name is Android. So we are just converting that JSON into our script, Java code. That's all. We will be using these parameters only. All right. So capabilities dot set capability, and the second capability is automation name. Right. What would be the automation name? Automation name in our case is UA Automator 2, and then capability dot set capability mobile capability type dot UDID. UDID is unique device ID or universal ID, and in our case the UDID is this one. So copy this, paste it over here, and capability dot set capability. This is something which is very important, which would be new for you. We have to add app package and app activity, right? But we are not seeing app package and app activity under mobile capability type. Okay, you won't see that under mobile capability type because you will not have app package and app activity name for iOS apps. Okay, you will have only for Android apps. So there is another thing called as Android mobile capability type, under which you will see all the things that are related only to the Android devices. Okay, so in this you will see something called as app package and app activity. This is the only difference, because app package and app activity are strictly for Android apps, so there is no point adding them onto mobile capability type, which are like generalized for both iOS as well as Android devices. So which are actually confined to Android devices, those capabilities are being placed under a separate package called as Android mobile capability type. So here I'll get app package, so give the app package and get the app package name from here. So this is my app package name, copy this and paste it over here. And again, capability dot set capability Android mobile capability type of app activity. So what is app activity now? App activity would be uh, com dot popup calculator dot calculator. So copy this and paste it here. And not last but not the least, and this is very important, so this is mobile capability type dot no reset. What should be the value of this? Does this needs to go in a string, or is this fine? This is fine because we could even pass that as a boolean. Now we got all the capabilities done, right? Now what we have to do, we have to actually invoke the driver. To invoke the driver, what you have to do, you have to instantiate new Android driver, and you have to pass two parameters. One is the URL, new URL, HTTP localhost colon port number forward slash wdw forward comma capabilities. And we already have seen this so many times, and this is what we're gonna do now. So copy this and paste it over here, new Android driver. Instead of capabilities, we just need to have to pass this. With this, we are actually done with um, developing a script to invoke the desired app on your real mobile device. So it's a static Android driver, or we could even say web driver, that's fine. Static web driver. All right. So now important thing is this should actually, if this actually works perfectly, it will launch the app on your real mobile device the same way how the inspector actually invoke the app on the real mobile device. So let's give a test for this and see what happens. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, so now we are running our script, and the expectation is it should actually launch the calculator app on our device, and this is successful, right? So we are actually able to successfully connect to the device with these capabilities. So once this is done, everything would be the same like how you have done earlier. The same way you will actually find out the element properties, use driver.find element, and perform some actions on it. That's pretty much you're gonna do now. So let's do a simple calculation like 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 or something, yeah, just to get some um, feel on it. So go to your inspector, click on start session. So it launches the device now, and now we are trying to actually inspect the elements. So let's get this accessibility ID, which is 9. Go back to your script, say it as driver dot find element by apm by, because accessibility ID will be under apm dot find, and the value would be 9 dot click. So we're clicking on it, and what's the next? We have to get the plus button. Okay, so the accessibility ID of this is plus. Copy this value, go back here, driver dot find element apm by dot xpath, sorry, accessibility ID, and the accessibility ID of the plus is plus dot click. Dot click. And even we could add that implicit weight over here, driver dot manage dot times out dot implicit weight. You already have seen this in your Selenium sessions, right? You also know what is the difference between uh, implicit weight and explicit weight of seconds, and let's give it as 5 seconds. So we got implicit weight added as well, which takes up the synchronization for small weights. So now we actually got uh, clicked on 9 and we clicked on plus, and then we will also try to click on some other number and then equal to. Go back to your inspector. Now let's try to inspect another number, which is 5. So accessibility ID is 5 for this, so I could directly copy this code, Control C, Control V, and instead of 9 I'll just type 5 dot click, and then I just have to click on equal to. So get the object for this, and accessibility ID for this is equal. Copy this and use the same code and just try to click on equal to. Copy this accessibility ID and paste it here. Now we got some operation done. Once that is done, what we have done, clicked on 9, tapping on it, Yes, this got closed. The app on real device got closed, so we actually have to reconnect to this again. Okay, so let's actually see the result now. I need to capture this result. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I'll use this ID and I'll try to get the text out of it. Okay, so I'll use this ID, which is calculator edit formula. I'll use this and use contains on top of it. So my XPath would be /star contains at the rate comma, and what is this? This is going to be the resource ID. At the rate resource ID is equal to this. So now I will get the text out of it. Driver dot find element by dot XPath, and inside this XPath I just need to give this XPath. Control X, Control V dot get text, and this dot get text is actually giving us 14 calculation result, but we don't want calculation result. So what I'll do is I'll replace that with a null string. So it's again Java, so don't need to say anything on this. So I'll replace calculation result with this one, and then I'll trim this because I'll not get any spaces in the front and back. So this I'll actually store in the variable called as result. Let me sys out that result. Sys out, and I'm printing this result out to the console. With this, we are done with one simple flow. So again, to keep it short, we got the capabilities and we invoked that app using those capabilities from the inspector, and we identified different elements on the native app. Like in this case it is 9 plus 5 equal to, so we are clicking on it and then we are capturing the result, getting the text out of it, and doing some operations on the resulted text to get the desired result. That's all what we have done so far. And now let's run this and see how this actually works on real mobile device. Okay, so I'm running this now. I click run as Java application, and now you could see the action on real mobile device. So it's clicking on 9 plus 5 is equal to 14, and then we are getting the text out of it and printing it to the console. So we are getting that result onto the console. So this is pretty much about automating a real native app. Okay, now let's just get a feel on a second app which we mostly use, which is WhatsApp. So for WhatsApp, let's see how to actually how just we will simply search for a particular contact, and like and then we will just do some operations on top of it. Okay, uh, just a second. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to actually launch the APK info and also get the uh, package name and activity name for the WhatsApp. All right, so that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'll go to APK info, I'll go to APK info, and now my interest is WhatsApp. So get the package name and activity name for that WhatsApp. Okay, I'm launching WhatsApp now, opening it. So you could see the package name is com.whatsapp. So that's the simple one. So initially it's always good idea to actually test this with uh, inspector. So if that is successful, you could actually come back and use them directly over here. So now I'm editing JSON. I guess this is the first time we are doing it. So com.whatsapp is package name, and now I want to get the activity name. So go back to activities, and inside the activities we have so many things that are available. Okay, we have home activity, and we have this conversations. So conversations is what we will see the as the first screen, right? So let's just give a try with the conversations. If that works, that is fine, or else we will try with um, another app. Okay, com dot another activity, WhatsApp dot conversations. Conversation, that's what we are seeing over here, right? Conversation. So I'm just clicking on start session. So always make sure, I'm repeating it again, if you don't use this no reset as true, you will actually see your app got, I mean it gets reset automatically. You have to do it again from start. So you always need to make sure you are adding no reset to your capabilities. com.whatsapp.conversation. So I'm trying to launch this activity now. So it is saying like conversation couldn't be started. It means like that is not the activity that actually that you have to use. But let's find, we have something called as, let's see if there is anything called as messaging related, because message is something which you would see on the start, but there are lots of activities. Let's go with home activity and see what happens in this case. Home activity.
You have to give the whole name, like if you want to go with like there are other options, right? What's the back? So if you want to go with that, you have to give whole name,
Yes, you
activity
have to
name.
give the whole name that is actually been visible over there. You have to give the entire name, com.whatsapp.instrumentation.ui, something like that. You have to give the whole thing. This is not the one. Then what's this best? Don't use the command. That's the reason I haven't told you the command yet. Don't just directly use the command. It directly gives you the screen name which is currently in focus. But go, at least for first few times, go through all the activities and just get a sense of all the activities that are there, so that you would actually predict what is what, and what are all the activities that are actually there. So that's the only reason for actually going this way. But shortly I'm going to show that command as well for you to actually get the app package name and activity name. for the active screen. So you see something called as new group. So every activity is like a different screen on the mobile device. That's all you have to understand. Like similarly for the main for the main window, what you have, what you will see when you open the WhatsApp, for that also you'll have one activity. So you just have to get that. It won't be such a down, but let's just try to get it. Storage uses activity, that's not for sure. Storage uses gallery activity, that's not for sure. UI home place activity, home placeholder. UI WhatsApp home.ui. I don't think this is gonna be that one. Message detail, kept message activity, starred message activity, conversation. We tried conversation, right? Yes, we tried. Edit message, selected message, call link, group call link on.
So why it is not taking that activity name?
We cannot directly actually open that app. That's what it
Okay.
means. Like
Okay.
when you're actually opening WhatsApp, you cannot directly open a new group screen, right? It has some restriction. It always has to redirect from that main activity. So
Oh,
that's the
so
reason
we
you're
should
not
figure
able to.
it out.
Sorry.
Okay. So we should figure it out, what name, what activity name we should give. We should figure it out.
Right.
Instead, we have to focus on main activity, the main keyword.
Yeah, for most of the apps we will have that main, but do you find something like main over here? No, right? What is main activity for WhatsApp?
Main or login. I have shared found some articles where they said main or login in the activity name.
No, no, that's what I'm saying. It actually, most of the apps will have main activity. Main, if here for the WhatsApp, what we are seeing, we don't have main activity, right? So you have to get the relevant activity name.
Okay. Sir,
Yeah,
logo.
logo. No, it always be something like conversations is what I feel. com.whatsapp.conversation. Conversation. Start session. Okay. Home activities, still we haven't saved it. Save it, start. Start that does not cannot be launched. Make sure it exists and it is launchable activity. This is not the one.
Sir, chats window.
Is that there?
I don't know, sir. I just googled it and yeah, it
No,
shows
we have to
chats window.
find out in this. We have to find out in this app packages.
Oh, sure, sir. I don't have that. Yeah, I have to check
Chat.
this. I
What is
just
it?
googled it and chats window.
Chats window. Can you spell that? I don't know if we do have that.
Yeah, in the message
Is
I
that capital
just
C? Okay. Where is this chats window? Chats. No, this is not gonna be because we will not have spaces in the one. Uh, Chart window would not be the main one because don't think. Let's go slowly and figure out if we have something. Let's just try with main once and see. Yeah, main worked actually, but definitely you have to find this main somewhere. It has around 395 activities, but main should be somewhere inside this. That is fine. I'll definitely show you this later. But for now, main is working. Let's go with the main. So I'm able to actually connect to this device. So these are the capabilities that I could actually go ahead and use for launching the session. So if I click on start session, I could actually go ahead and start my WhatsApp. Okay. Now let's use the same parameters in our emulator as well. Now what, instead of this package name and activity name, I'll go ahead and comment everything which we have done for Android. And now I'll change this. Let's keep these as well. So app package name in our case is com.whatsapp, and activities whatsapp.main. I'll show you this main somewhere. It should be there or else it will not connect to that. So we got app package and app activity, and we also got the snow reset. Now also I'll develop some sort of code to actually connect to that, to actually start automating this WhatsApp. We will click on search and uh, type some text in the search window, and then we will type something and go into the chart and then enter something is what we're going to do. So here is the accessibility id equal to accessibility id search. So driver dot find element apm by dot accessibility id, which is search in our case, dot click. So we are clicking on it, and then driver dot find element. The next step would be, once we clicked on search, we will get that search window. So here is where we have to enter some text. So clicking on search. So id, resource id is search input. So we will go with xpath, by dot xpath double forward slash star contains at the rate comma, and let's paste this. And what is this? It is resource id, right? Copy the resource id and paste it over here. And here, what is the command? We use send case, and there I'll just type Harika. So once we searched with Harika, out of all the results that we are getting, we have to actually, I'm searching with Harika here. I'm searching with Harika here so that we will get all the results. Appium inspector, I just need to refresh this. So now here we have to get all the names. We will get multiple results. Out of all the multiple results, we'll get, uh, we have to compare the given string is there in the results or not. Once it is there, we just have to click on it, right? That's what we have to do now. So what is the unique parameter for this? For all these results, it is, the unique parameter is uh, frame layout. And then this is the one. Look at this. When I selected this, it actually what is this highlighting? This is not highlighting the required thing. That is actually highlighting the image which we don't. So inside this we have the required text, which is row header. Row header is highlighting that Harika apex. So I will get something under this. Yeah, here is where the text, right? So we have to use this conversation row contact name. So use this and use find elements so that it will get the headings or the names of all the elements of the results that got occurred. Driver dot find elements by dot xpath, and what is that? It's a resource id, right? So double forward slash star contains comma control V, and this is resource id. So I'm just pasting it over here. You are able to follow this, right? It's all, there is nothing new here.
Yes.
Send statement to a new local variable. So this is like all contacts. We also have to finish web today. For I'm iterating through all the web elements now, and I'm printing the result names. So let's suppose if I'm searching with Harika and I'm getting n number of results, I have to, I could have Harika 1, Harika 2, Harika 3, right? So just to fetch the right contact, I'm iterating through all the results, and whenever let me give the right contact name. So when if the result dot get text, which gets the text, before that let me print all the results. That makes sense, so you'll get some view of it. So I'm printing all the results that got occurred once we executed that. Control V dot get text. This will actually print all the results into the console. Okay, let me open this visor. Right click, run as Java application. So we launched WhatsApp. Oh, wait a second. Okay, the reason is we have to actually click on it, and then we have to, did you interact with the correct element? Cannot set the element to Harika Apex. Why is this? Let's run this again and see what happens now. Right click, run as. Right click, run as Java application. It launched the WhatsApp. Clicked on search. It's not able to enter on it. So let's just give a click on it so that control goes to that. Let's see. Dot click. Let's right click. Run as Java application. So we clicked on search and we clicked on it. So this is something weird. Let's see if we identified the right element or not. Refresh the screen. Connect to it again. I don't think we gave the right X path. This is search input, right? Search input resource ID. Correct one only. Resource ID. Search input. Yeah, going wrong. My goodness, what is wrong? The only way we could do is just check from the inspector whether we are interacting with the right element or not. This is XPath, and I'm giving this XPath, clicking on search, start session. Refresh, search XPath, and here's what I'm trying to search for. There are three inputs matching the same one. Okay, so out of all the three, we have to actually, we will be able to send keys for the third one. I see. This is what we are actually trying to find, because when we give the property what we gave, it identified three elements and it is trying to interact with the first element, because find element will always try to fetch the first uh, element matching the properties. Now this is not highlighting anything. That's the reason we are not able to actually find out the element, or do action on the element that we would like to do. Okay, so for this what we have to do is we need to make it more unique. It got
But
locked, I
we were using find elements.
No, we are using find element to actually do the sun case. We haven't used find element. You could see here we are just using find element. Here we are just entering the text into that text box. Why
Okay.
is there an error here again? Let us get more precise element now, so that we would be able to actually, this is what we need. And it also has class name as edit text. We'll also pass the class name along with the properties. So I guess they should give us a single element. So this is how you have to figure it out what's going wrong, and you should be able to fix it. I click on search. God, this got locked. Search XPath. Click on search. Yeah. Now we got single element, and that shit's like that's where we are gonna enter text. Now let me run the script now. Let's run the script again, and let's see whether this works now or not. Clicked on search. Yeah, we enter the text, and now we're getting all the contacts. I mean, these are all what got displayed as the results now. If I scroll down, these are all the ones I got as the results now. So I think down. Okay, so in this I just have to click on this contact. When it is matching with the text that I am passing, it should actually click on it. So let me give the complete name. This is all normal automation. You don't need to actually bother much about this, and you could fix whenever it comes. So here what I am going to check is each result dot get text dot equals ignore case is matching with this value. matching this value. Go ahead and click on it. Each result dot click, so that this opens the window, the chart window. So I'm giving a break over here so that it doesn't go forward, which will not be no more there. Get rid of stale element reference error. As we are going away from that window, once we clicked on that window, we go to that person's chart, right? So we are opening WhatsApp, and we are actually searching with the contact, and once there is a match with the contact, we will actually click on it. It got, no, it hasn't clicked on it. Just why it is not clicking on it? I'm really not sure why it is. Let's debug this and see what is going on wrong with this. conversation row contact name. This is what we gave. We're getting this each result, and we're trying to click on it. Dot get text. It's printing out that value and it's not clicking on it. I'll just try to go to its parent and we'll try to click on it. Let's see what happens. So are we doing something wrong here? Anyone able to figure this out? So we're finding all the elements using XPath. We are iterating through all the contacts, and I see the results are also coming wrong. So I was like, ignored that. Maybe.
Yeah, so each result dot get text equal ignore case harika apex we can store in one variable and then we can click on that variable instead of if loop. The each result dot get text we can store in one variable.
That doesn't actually makes any change, right? I mean, we are just moving it out from the if loop. I think it is the issue only with the objects only. It's not, we are not rightly getting the objects. So we are sending keys and we are waiting for 5 seconds, and then we are actually getting all the elements with this XPath. Okay, let's try with the same approach what we have done earlier. Let's see what is this actually fetching out for us. Does that make sense? Because that resolves all the issues, and we already have seen this. Whenever an XPath is not working, go back to the inspector and use its search option. So go back to your application state where you actually want to find out. So this is one thing that you always have to do when you're running into some issues. So let me refresh my screen. So I'm here. So here I gave an XPath, and using that XPath I'm trying to find out elements. Okay, click on search. So it is giving me the results. These results are somewhere else. These are not on this particular screen. You are able to see them, right? So it is not, they were not actually identifying the right elements. Somewhere down the lane it is actually doing it, but these, it actually, we are actually iterating through this loop, getting the first element, it is matching with the properties that we are passing, and it is, this text could also be, even if I tap this element, let's see what happens. Cannot tap on this element because it is no more there on the DOM. It is still fetching us some old results, some old screen values. It is not actually getting the right objects. That's the reason, even we have n number of items over here, it is printing us very few items when we actually printed that values by iterating through the loop. So let's try to get the right objects now. So I'm here, conversations, row contact name, and where is that? Here it is. Go back to its parent, linear layout. Okay, linear layout. Our interest is to actually get this. Contact row container and contact photo. This is not our interest. And under this conversations row header we have. What I'm gonna do is I'll add an additional thing to top of that, which is contact row container. I'll add this so that it actually restricts to only contacts, not the chart history. So I'll go back here. I'll say double forward slash this one dot that one. So copy this XPath, come back to inspector, and now give a search with this XPath. Search, could not find elements. Control X. Search.
Can we check index of
Don't you
it?
need
If index works?
Index 0. Is that contact row container only?
don't you need to give the whole thing com.whatsapp? Oh, you're not giving the resource ID.
Where are we going wrong? Till not of a time today. Contact. Oh God,
You
this
need
is
to
not
give the whole
class
thing, right?
name. Yeah.
Oh.
Go back there. Append this one. Resources ID and container. And actually, we are in a hurry to complete this. That's the reason this will happening. Click on search.
What if we remove the contents and use just the attribute as a whole?
Distribute. What's that you're saying? Why is it returning only 5 elements? Done. Let's. Oh, we just have 10 minutes. That is fine. Let's stick to the same only. Maybe you're open for your thoughts on this. If you have some solution, you could let me know. I'm really confused. Why is this not getting the right things? Harika
Can we try
Apex.
one more time the ID instead of XPath? We can try ID and give the resource ID.
We are giving resource ID only, right?
Yeah, we are using XPath, right? We can use by ID and give the resource ID.
Great. I'm not really sure it worked now.
Resource ID should be unique, right? Like most of the time ID works. So
Yeah. So at least it got worked now. So I'm not really sure what's wrong with XPath. Maybe that should be fine. So it worked somehow. So we gave ID and we are actually clicking on it. I guess you should be good with rest of the flow. You could actually search this, enter some text, so that you will get some sandbox, and you could, these are all finding elements and doing some operations around it. There is nothing much you have to do it over here. So this is all about automating native apps, getting the APK, app package name, app activity name, and proceeding further. And for the next 5 to 10 minutes, we are going to talking about web automation on real mobile devices. Now we want to actually automate Chrome browser on my real mobile device. Okay, and we know for Chrome browser we get rid of these two parameters, which is like app package and app activity name. And now we will come back with something called as um, what are those what parameters that we have to add for browser
browser name,
is. What's the other one that we need for Chrome? Is it Chrome driver executable? We already have seen this yesterday, right? We need Chrome driver executable and the browser name. So these are the two things that we actually need in the Chrome browsers. So go back here. Just instead of this, we will be actually adding this particular stuff to this Chrome driver and Chrome driver executables. These are the two things that we need for automating a Chrome browser. Control V, Control V. So instead of the device name, we are passing UDID. That's the only difference. So no reset has to be true. And now I'll comment out all this code, which I no more need this. Uh, and we will just do driver.get and some URL https www.json. So now we got the URL. So to automate the real browsers, we just need to add only two parameters. One is browser name and the other one is Chrome driver executable. But only important thing that you have to consider is you have to check for the Chrome driver version on your real mobile device, and then you have to download the relevant executable file. So go here, uh, go to help and feedback. Not there. Settings, and go down, you will see about Chrome. So the current version of mine is 110, right? So I have to go ahead and download that relevant Chrome driver. I have to go to Chrome driver downloads. I need to get this 110 driver for my uh, mobile, which is like my mobile Chrome driver version is 110. So go and get this, right click, extract all. Earlier we have 69 because on our emulator we have 69. So we get rid of that, and I replaced the existing version with this 117. So now go back to your screen, right click, run as Java application. So now you should be able to see the Chrome browser launching on your real mobile device with this URL being redirected. So Chrome is been getting launched, and we should be able to redirect to amazon.com. So the rest all would be the same. Again, to inspect the elements on this, go back to Chrome, devices, inspect, Chrome, inspect devices. So go here, you would see your real device coming over here in just few seconds. So it got opened over here. Just click on inspect. So you would be in sync with your real mobile device. So whatever you do on your real device, you could see it over here. So if I click on this, the same thing you would actually see it over here as well. So the visor is getting reflected, and this is also changing. So you could find the XPath for your element, same like how you have done earlier. Get the XPath and enter something into it. That's all you have to do.
So
Driver,
in this case, it will replace the inspector, right?
sorry.
It will replace the inspector, like APM inspector.
Yeah, for mobile devices, yesterday we actually figured this out, right? How to inspect them in
Yeah,
Chrome.
just my question is like the web services like
Right, yes, yes. For
it will
for
replace
web,
the
we will
APM
just
inspector.
use this. Yes,
Okay.
we got an XPath, and we are sending keys to that. Run as Java application. Click on OK. So the Chrome is getting launched. We are opening this Amazon.com, and then we are entering the text into that search box. That's all with mobile browser automation on real mobile device. There is pretty no change between emulator and real mobile device. The only thing is the way we change the capabilities and how the parameters that we use in capabilities for real mobile device and emulator changes. The rest of the flow for automation would be the same. There won't be any change from emulator to the real mobile device. With this we completed most of Android devices, so we will be left with iOS simulator and real device. So that's where we're gonna start from the next session. And there are few concepts that you have to learn. One is hybrid app automation. In the last session we will come back to hybrid app automation, where there will be a redirection from the real app, I mean native app, to the uh, browser. And there will be a link over there. I could show you quickly. So with this we are done with real Android mobile devices, so I am discarding that. I'll just show you how an hybrid app looks like. So that's somewhere left for us. We will cover that in the last session once we are done with iOS. So this is an example of for hybrid apps. uh, this is not, I'm just trying to close all the tabs. So let me open this messaging app. Oh, not message. If you go to this Dio app, this is native app, right? So this is something which is for Android. So here there is a link. Once we click on this link, it is taking us to the Chrome browser. So we are redirecting from the native app to the Chrome browser. Okay, so this means like there is this is this these are the hybrid apps, where we will have a redirection from the native app to the hybrid app. So if I take some other example, like to be more precise, let's go to the messages. In the messages, the moment you open the messaging app, it looks like this. And there is an more options button over here. When you click on help and feedback, this gets opens. And even when you expand this, here there is something called as privacy policy. When you click on this, it again opens the Chrome browser. So there is a redirection from the native app to the hybrid app. Okay, so these kinds of apps are called as hybrid apps. We will actually try to automate these kind of apps as well. So we should be able to operate on and native apps, and then when it redirected to the Chrome browser, again we have to s- switch the control from the native app to the web app, and again we should be able to take back the control from web app to the native app. So same like window handling in Selenium. When we have multiple windows, how we operate on them? So we switch from one window to the other window using its IDs, and we use get window handles, if you remember. The same way, here we have few commands like get context handles, dot context, something like that. So we will be able to automate, I mean we will actually see automation of this hybrid apps as well. So now we are pending with iOS simulator creation. And actually I won't actually automate apps on iOS devices, but I'll just show you what are the capabilities that we need and how to actually create a simulator, how to connect to the simulator from the inspector. We will not go to the Java code, because I mean we will just create only the capabilities, and then we will run the code just to connect to the devices. We will not automate any apps on iOS devices as well, because the code would be the same for everything. For Android, for iOS, Appium supports both of them, and the code would be the same for both iOS as well as for Android. The only thing that changes is the capabilities. Even if you witness that from the real device to emulator as well, the code, there is no change in the code. The only change is with the capabilities. When you set the capabilities correctly, the rest all would be the same. So that's the target for the next session, to actually show you iOS simulators. And if possible, I'll try to get a real device, and we'll try to demonstrate real device as well. But in the other case, maybe I may not be able to show you the real device. But again, there won't be any change. Only UDID changes that you have to set, that you have to connect your app and get run ADB devices, get the UDID, and replace the device name with that UDID. That's all you have to do. That's not a big deal. uh, and we are pending with hybrid apps, as I told you. And there are few ADB commands that I actually have to show you, for, and also make me, I mean remember me, When I explain you ADB commands, I'll also show you how to get the package name and activity name. Right now we are getting from APK info, but using ADB command, we even can get a app package name and activity name directly of the app which is in focus. These are all pending from our side. I mean, from my side, coming to Appium automation and also framework design. I don't think we could go ahead and see framework design, but we covered almost all the basic things. I For the ones who attended Selenium sessions, they know how to actually construct reusable components, properties files, creating a driver class for different browsers. Those are the concepts related to framework. So maybe that would be the common session for both Apm automation, whatever that could be the automation, whether it is API, mobile, or Selenium. The framework would always be the same. The only thing that changes is the reusable components, driver invocations, and all the things. That's pretty much for today. And I just want to take some kind of feedback from you guys. Like, do you find something difficulty over the past few sessions that we interacted for mobile specifically? You want something to be added? Hello.
No, sir, we are good. We could do it. No.
Sir, you mentioned like you'll push the code on Git. Can you push it for us?
Sure, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. And I could also give you a link. I mean, if someone have not attended Selenium sessions yet, they could actually see the Selenium framework video over here. Uh, I guess this is where you could actually see the video for your reference. Maybe I could share this link with you, so to get some hands-on on framework, because you will also get questions on framework too, definitely. But ones who attended Selenium sessions would be actually able to understand what components will be there in a framework. We have seen Page Object Model, Page Factory, uh, different kinds of stuff in framework sessions, reusable components, properties, files, uh, and different domains like dev environment, setting different URLs for staging, something of that sort. Maybe maybe you could get that video from Harika too, if she has for Selenium framework session, which should be the last session, I hope. Yeah, that's the last session. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. We have get to the cucumber framework. Cucumber tool. Get the framework.
Yeah. Yeah, Cucumber is one part of framework, but most important thing is like knowing about Pace Factory, Pace Object Model, reusable components, properties files, and driving with different URLs, and creating a driver file with different cases for different browsers. Something that part is very important. Cucumber is a BDD framework. It's one such part, and we also have seen extent reports is what I believe. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these are all important as part of framework. So if you get a chance, talk to Lakshmi and get that recording link, and go through that so that you'll get some understanding on framework. So that's pretty much we are pending with iOS simulator, iOS real device. If I get a device, I'll try to show that. If not, no. If not, I'll just demonstrate verbally like what needs to be changed, and ADB commands.
I have two questions. The first one I have like is we end the session like every time on the APM inspector, right? Similar way, how we can do we need to change the session in a web application, or it will be automatically the browser based? It will get refreshed.
Yeah, browser automatically gets refreshed. That's what we are see. I mean, we observed, right? So when we do something on it, when we are using the Chrome inspect devices inspector, it automatically changes it. Whereas for APM, we just have to refresh that. In Appium
So,
Inspector, we have to refresh that. Yes.
okay. Second question, like as in Selenium Grid, we use for the uh, parallel parallel testing or like cross browser testing, like the Selenium Grid, like a Hub
Yeah.
and Node. What are the options available in Appium if you want to run the test script on different devices at a time?
We could use parallel testing here as well. Uh, it's like Selenium. I mean, same like Selenium concept only. We could even use grid because we are just driving our script from the hub to different nodes. If you are successful in configuring your mobile device on the slave machines, you should be able to drive the parallel testing on different devices, same like Selenium grid. uh,
Have you
and
tried
we
on
could
real
also,
time?
sorry.
Have you tried?
Yeah, we
It
actually
works.
used this is we used browser stack to actually run on multiple devices using threading. And
Yeah,
we
it's a
also
cloud.
have sorry.
It's a cloud platform, right? We can create
Yeah,
a device.
browser stack is a cloud platform. Even when you configure it on different devices, which is a cost factor, the same cost can be incurred on cloud platforms. So there is no meaning of actually configuring different devices for different mobile platforms. Even you could actually do threading on the same uh, system as well. I mean to say, you could run multiple threads on multiple devices on the same machine. I could launch two emulators on the same device and with different device names, and I could run tests parallelly on those two devices on the same machine. That could also be achieved, and that's we recently have done that for one of the projects.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
Sir,
when coming to the mobile devices, we always go ahead and use cloud platforms like Browser Stack. The other one is uh, I forgot the name. Perfecto and AWS Device Farms. All these are cloud platforms for different mobile automations. What's that question? Someone is asking something.
Sir, I have an issue.